Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dennis and welcome back to the Art Survival video. There are some weaknesses with the Easter event, and however, I found out that there is something that is actually very good that we can get during this Easter event. Now, I know at the time this video is out, the event is already ended unless they extend the event, which I'm not sure. I don't know about that at this point. However, here we'll actually talk about the thing that I actually missed in the Easter eggs video that I did. It's the fact that the Easter eggs itself actually has its own perk or buff, which actually some of them, well, all of them actually got already existed in the game, and this is just an alternative. However, I do have some questions about this, like can you stack it, or is it better to use the X version or just use the regular food version? And yeah, today we'll cover all of that, and also we'll try to use that in the battle as well. And I will, basically we're just gonna discuss if it's worth it or not to use this X, for the food buff. So yeah, let's just start. First, we have there is this 5 eggs over here, right? Well, apart from this boiled egg, I just put it here just so that this got lined up perfectly, and I can maybe make this into thumbnail or something. But yeah, um, but first let's take a look at this Easter egg. So we have the three is the combination of the two paints, which is this one is blue plus green, this one is green plus pink, and then this one is blue plus pink. And yeah, these are the three main colors combined into. And then we have also the rainbow, which is basically a mixture of all the three paints, which is the pink, red, and no, not pink, red. It's pink, blue, and green, and you will get yourself rainbow Easter egg. And then there is the final one, which is golden Easter egg, which requires the golden paint, and we know how painful it is to find these golden paints. So yeah, um, we'll talk about that later. First, we have this blue plus green. It has a firing range effect. Firing range plus one. This is the equivalent of the mashed potatoes over here. As you can see, this one also has firing range plus one. Duration is 12 hours, kind of the same as this one. And so yeah, there's that. However, if you take a look at the stats, this one gives 20 health plus 25 food. Well, this one gives 4 health plus 25 food. Now, in this situation of the food buff for combats, the main thing that I will look is actually the food stats over here. I don't really care about the other stats. I just look at the food stats. So this one has 25 and this one has 25, which means that these two are kind of the same, which means that in my opinion, I feel like it's probably better to just use mashed potatoes because, one thing that we know is that all these 5 eggs, all this is limited amount. You cannot get this infinitely unless they keep it in the game after the Easter event ends, which I highly doubt. I think this entire dance will actually disappear once the Easter event ends. So you will only have this limited amount of eggs that you have. And yeah, for this one, I would say just use mashed potatoes. So we're just comparing it, the X version and the actual food buff version. And again, I will use both of these and to see if you can actually stack those two. Because if you can, it actually will be very interesting for some food buff that we have here. So yeah. Next, we have this one, which is the green plus pink. You will get yourself this Easter egg. This gives 25 foot buff and it will give you surge speed plus 50%. Now, I personally don't really care about surge speed. It doesn't really make it faster. Animation term, I feel like it's just to make it that you will spend less time while doing it in game. So you will basically you will get even less radiation, well 50% less radiation, just from searching the location, which again I feel like it's kind of unnecessary, it's kind of redundant. And yeah, I actually never use the food buff itself, which is CG over here. Search speed plus 50%, duration 36 hours, this one also 50% 36 hours, and then this However, as you can see over here, this gives food by 100 and this one gives only 25, which means that yes, I would say the Easter egg version is better because it has 75 food discount. And why does this matter? Because usually when we're taking food buff, we also have to try to understand that we only have limited amount of food stat over here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. This one over here, we only have limited amount of food stat over here, and if it's fully filled, then we're not going to be able to eat anything even further. So it's better for us to eat as little as possible so that we can get as many food buffs as possible, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would say this one is better because it only gives 25 food and this one gives 100. At the time I'm recording this, there is not really any item that will reduce your food directly, like literally directly. Not even the strange mushroom. We do have strange mushroom over here. This reduces your health, which is very great if you combine this with the polar armor. And then we have this one as well, minus 50%. It's kind of the same, and also gives 50 energy. But there is not really any strange mushroom that reduces food. There is, however, a strange mushroom that reduces your water at the expense of increasing your food by a lot. However, there is no reverse for that at the time I'm recording this. So, that's why this entire ordeal with food buff is that, to get yourself as little food as possible so that you can stack as many food buffs as possible. So yeah, that's the logic behind that. However, again, search speed, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary. So I doubt that this is useful. It is useful in a way that you only get 25 instead of 100, so you can eat something else. However, at the term of usefulness, I feel like search speed is not really something that you should prioritize. I mean, it's just searching speed. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of not that big of a deal. So yeah, um, even if you search for like let's say 3 hours and you have like let's say 20 radiations per hour, so you will get 60 radiation, right? 60 radiation, it's kind of easy, kind of cheap to heal. I would say you just drink homemade wine or you just go to the nurse, etc., etc., and you will have the radiation removed, which it's kind of not a big of a deal. Yes, I understand for new players it will be very difficult for them because you know they don't have lots of resources, then it will be very difficult for them to reduce radiation points. So maybe I would say this is very useful. This egg is very useful for new players, but I think at the end of if you're end game players, I feel like you probably don't care about search speed at all. So yeah, that's that. So this one, that's it. And next one, we go to the next one. This is pink plus blue. You will get more movement. Now, I would say this is one of the most worth it one. This is more worth it than the firing range, because this one you will get yourself more movement range in battle plus 2. Now I've said this many times in the past and I will keep saying this, but here's the thing. If you're far from your opponents, then your opponents will not be able to hit you, and that is the core mechanics of combat. If you are far from the opponents, then your opponents might not be able to shoot you or to attack you with melee. We actually had this thing with the Halloween event back then. The first boss is that it only deals melee damage, and one of the easiest way to counter that boss was that you just get yourself some distance with the boss, and you will need movement. Back then we used shawarma, but with this one this is also nice because it just straight up give you plus 2 movement range. Now again, I will test this myself after this, if you can actually stack this or not. So you can get plus 2 from shawarma and then plus 2 from the Easter egg, which if it works, it'll be very great because you will straight up get plus 4 movement range. Literally, you can go very far away during combat. which means that your opponent might not be able to reach you. If they cannot reach you, they cannot hit you, and you will survive for at least one turn. So yeah, so there's that. And then on top of that, we have this the fact that this gives only 25, while the actual shawarma actually gives 150. Now that is a discount of 125 food, which is very big. That is very huge, very game changing. With sometimes when I use this kind of food buff, like pizza, and then there is also other things that increases damage, like let's say the spaghetti monster or the chicken kiev. Combined with pizza, you will get like literally you already get 300, and then you will not be able to eat anything else. But now with this Easter egg, you can just put this in as well, and yeah, and then you can eat pizza as well, and that'll be very great. You have the tactic, also you have the more movement as well, which is very useful. I would rate this one an S tier, I would say. It's probably the winner so far. I would say this one is probably the last one, the fifth number. This one is I don't know, but this one is actually great. So yeah, let's finish first, and then I will rate this from out of five. Which one is better. So yeah. And then we have this one, Rainbow Easter Egg. This is the combination of all the pink, blue, and green paint. As you can see over here, there is the text, and this one gives Scavenger, which gives you effect of quantity of components found plus 50%. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you loot cities and then you try to scavenge the cities, you will get extra 50% components. Now, I'm not exactly sure what is included in these components things, but at the end of the day, it's increase of 50%. So let's say you're supposed to get like three sandpaper, for example, and instead you will get five because you get 50% extra. Or if you want to get yourself some if you want to search, like let's say I don't know, maybe rubber parts, you're supposed to get only two, but with this you will get extra one, so you will get three, which is very nice because rubber parts is kind of difficult to get. So it's actually very great, although it's not really that useful because it doesn't really do anything with combat, and I feel like food buffs is mainly for combat. With this kind of scavenger, I feel like it's not really that worth it, especially when there is actually already a perk that does that as well. Let's see here. Yeah, this one, scavenger over here. Quantity of components found plus 50%. You can just use this perk, although you will need two slots. So if you don't like this and you want to use these slots for other perks, then yeah, it's fine. You'll get two extra slots, and then you can just use this cake, for example. This is also the same. Quantity component spawn plus 50%, duration takes 36 hours, which is the same as this one, right? However, again, if you take a look at the stats, this only gives 50 food, while this one gives 150. So that is already a discount of 100 food, which is very nice, especially when you're scavenging, and this only lasts for 36 hours. You're trying to search for the location. Um, then you will probably use a lot of time, and this food buff will probably already expire faster than you think. And in that case, you will need to eat more of this cake, which obviously it's not going to be easy to reduce 150 food. So there's that. What I can say though is that you can combine this rainbow with this one over here, which give you the search speed, which means that you will search faster. If you search faster, which means that you will consume less time. Consuming less time means that your buff will last longer in itself. So um, it's individually, I would say search speed is bad, scavenger is kinda okay, but if you combine these two together, scavenger plus search speed, it will be very nice, because the search speed help your buff last longer, and the scavenger itself will make you get more resource when you're looting. Although at the end of the day, again, I would say it's kind of not really worth it overall, because you can just buy this from the npc, etc., etc. So yeah, There's that, but it's still useful. It's just that I wouldn't really use this. If you're early game, you'll probably use this, but if you're end game, I doubt you'll actually use this. So yeah, there's that. And that brings us to the final egg, which is the golden Easter egg, and this one is probably the most useful one. Why? Because this gives you tactic, which restores your action points plus one. This is very huge because this is basically the same effect as pizza over here. 12 hours, restore action points plus 1. This one is also the same. And if you take a look at the stats, this gives you 50 food, while this one only gives you, this one gives you 150. So that is a discount of 100. However, keep in mind that this will brings you 120 energy. Now, I have no idea if you can use this while your energy is full or not. I will only presume that you can because I think food is actually more prioritized than the energy. So as long as you have food, as long as your food is not at max, I think you can actually use this food buff. So yeah, this really is very great because restoring action points plus one, that's actually very big. That plus one action points, you can use that for grenade, for example. It will, maybe give you the stun grenade. It will blind the opponents just by these extra points. Or if you wait, like, let's say 3 turns, try to survive 3 turns, and you will get plus 3 action points. Plus 3 action points is just equal to one shot, basically. Like if you have machine gun, you will be able to shoot that once, which means that you will be able to do big damage every 3 turns, which is very useful, especially during long combats. So yeah, there's that. um, yeah, I would say that this is very useful. However, there is actually a drawback with that. Unfortunately, the fact that this is the golden Easter egg, which means that you will need a lot of this golden paint because you will need 3 to make 1. Now, is it worth it or not to use this golden egg as it is, for food buff? Unfortunately, though, I would say it's not worth it because um, you need a lot of the material the first place to get this one, and you probably don't have a lot of golden Easter egg at the end of the day. So do you want to waste this thing which you can just collect or use for event, for example, back then, or you can just waste this just to get tactic which will last for 12 hours. I would say it's not worth it in a way that the resource used to take to make this is actually very valuable. I would say it's not worth it at all to use this one. So yeah, for this one, I would say the pizza is better. But again, we'll actually try to see if we can stack this. If we can, then it means that we can stack this tactic, this one, with this one, which means that you will be able to get plus 2 action points every turn, which basically is a cheat code. Like literally, it will give you very huge advantage during the combat. So yeah, but anyway, there's that. um let's rate first what is the most useful one and which one is the most useless one. In the fifth place, I would give it to the search speed because I don't think this is useful at all. If you just use this yourself, if you only use this specific one, I would say this one is kinda useless. So I would put this in fifth place. And the fourth place, we have Scavenger, which again, it doesn't really do anything with combat. There is also perk that does this the same thing. And would you rather to use limited amount of item or you just use perk? I would say perk will last forever. So yeah, this one is in the fourth rank. It's slightly better than this one, but it has uses, but there's better things, better options basically. And in the third place, I would say firing range. This is useful to get yourself firing range. You can shoot an enemy one tile away than usual. This is very useful, but again, there is more buff that is better than this one. And in the second place, we have this more movement. This is very nice because again, if you have distance, if you distance yourself from the opponent, If the opponent cannot reach you, they cannot hit you, and that is the basic rule of combat basically. And in the first place, we have this tactic, restore action points +1. I feel like it's very useful. It's very huge overall, but there is a drawback. Obviously, there is only a limited amount of this that you can use. However, so yeah, but still, in the term of functionality, I would say that this still will reside in the first place. So yeah, this is fifth, fourth, third, second, and first place. So yeah, there's that. That is for the X though. But for this one, I haven't actually rated the actual foot buff. So that I'm actually do that in the future. I have no idea. But yeah, now let's just use this and see if we can actually do something with it. First, I will use the firing range one, which means that I will have to eat the mashed potato plus the egg. So where is it? This one. This gave firing range. Let's eat this one, and we got ourselves firing range over here. Now let's see if we can actually stack that or not with this one over here. Let's eat. And let's see here. Oh, we cannot stack this, unfortunately. So, yeah, there you go. That is the answer of that. You cannot stack this, which, I guess my expectation is a little bit too high. I mean, I'm pretty sure the developers actually, aware of this as well. So that you can just, stack your firing range +2 by, using multiple of the foot buff. So, yeah, um, there's that. Unfortunately, you cannot stack these. What about the other one? What about let's say this one, for example, the cake scavenger. Let's do this. And then which one does scavenger? I think it's the pink one. No, not this one. Yeah, this one, rainbow. Okay, let's eat this. Let's see here, and it doesn't stack, unfortunately. So yeah, there you go. You cannot stack this, which I feel like it's kinda expected to do that. I feel like if you expect that the thing will stack those two buffs at the same time, I feel like it's gonna be very overpowered. So yeah, still balanced. But yeah, my rate is still the same. We're just talking about the eggs itself. The good thing about these eggs is that you don't need to eat more food, and that is the benefit. However, do you really want to use this limited amount of eggs? Collection eggs or limited event limited items and use this up for stuff. I kind of doubt. I would say it's not worth it to use. But yeah, overall, I would say it's actually very great. I think what the developers trying to do is that they're trying to introduce food buff, but it's not really from food. It's from other item. Well, in this case, it's still food, but because you can eat the Easter egg itself. But I think the developers is trying to introduce food buff and use it to in the form in the other form basically, because I've heard in the Discord server itself that there's a lot of people that want to have food buff, but in the form of medicines. So you will have medicines that will also give you food buff. Like for example, where is it? Like for example, this one over here. Maybe if you use this IR 190, you will also gain like the buff that gives you resistance towards radiation, for example. And then if you eat Lydia side, then you will I don't know, you will have buff that will give you I don't know, extra action points, for example. There's that. It's basically food buff that is in the form of medicine. So yeah, well, I guess the developers trying to approach that, but they don't really use that in medicines, but they are using this in the term of this Easter egg. So yeah, I would rate this entire thing as maybe 7 out of 10. Um, the reason being is that they're trying to introduce food buff in the form of other thing other than just food buff, like actual food that you cook. So that is always great. However, in the terms of sustainability, you will not be able to get lots of these eggs. So eventually these eggs will you will run out of eggs if you keep using this. So yeah, that's why the rating is lower to 7. So yeah, I like the idea, but in terms of effectivity, I would say that uh, using the actual food buff from the food that you can cook is probably better overall. So yeah, that's my point of view on this. That's my take. Let me know if you agree or not. Let me know if you know something else that I don't know about this food buff. So yeah, but anyway, I think that is for this one. Hope you guys enjoy it. The golden egg is still not worth it in so many levels. It's just too expensive. So yeah, but anyway, stay healthy. I will see you again few days from now in the next DR survival video. But until then, see ya.